It has to do with the ongoing pandemic and then efforts that are put in place by governments and all major stakeholders in fighting against the pandemic. So what we did in this study is, yes, we have had COVID-19 vaccine brought to Ghana about a month ago. But are the people, are the citizens, are the ordinary people on the street, are they ready to accept this vaccine, given the many stories going around concerning the vaccine? So we wanted to go around and then investigate this. But then, of course, we are in a difficult era given the pandemic. So we conducted an online study, a survey, to assess whether or not people are ready for the vaccine. If they are ready, what factors would make them to accept to take the vaccine jab? Those that are not ready, why wouldn't they be ready to take the vaccine? So these were some of the issues we investigated in this research.
So the main issue you're putting to them, one, would you accept the vaccine? If you would not, why would you? Why would you not?
Yes, in fact, that is part, but then we have other issues as well. So, for instance, we want to know if the person even have heard about the COVID-19 vaccine. Do you know that there's something like that? What do you know about it? Do you know that it can protect people against COVID-19? Do you know that the vaccine may have side effects? And if you have side effects, will the side effects affect you now, or are there more negative effects that may happen in the future? So there are a lot of issues that were assessed in this study, but the core ones relate to whether people are ready to take the vaccine or not.
So you also tested the knowledge of the general populace, the people you could
Exactly.
get to on
Yes.
the vaccine and what the implications of the vaccine and the details are.
Exactly.
And first of all, I want to start from that. How much do we actually? How much did you? What sense did you get from how much people know about the vaccine?
Okay, that's a very interesting one. Yes, in fact, first of all, we need to put this across. This was an online survey, so one needs to be educated. One needs to be able to read and write to be able to read the questions that form the questionnaire or the survey and then respond. So we had responses from only educated segment of our population. That aside, we have noticed that fairly half of the Ghanaian population knows that the COVID-19 vaccine is effective in protecting against COVID-19. So, for instance, we've had about 55.7% of our respondents, and I must indicate that we've had over 500 respondents, actually 544 respondents in this study. So, about half of them have indicated that yes, they know that the COVID-19 vaccine can protect them against the disease. Aside that, many other people have indicated that yes, they've had some information relating to the vaccine, as in they've heard about it. So this is different from if you know that it can protect you. You may hear about it, all right, but you might not have heard or known about it being protective enough to fight against the disease. So these were different issues that we examined.
So we're looking at 50% of people who you are certain have some information.
Yes, our 55.7%.
55.7%.
7%. Yes, they said they know that the vaccine can protect them against the disease. And then about 25%, that is a quarter of our respondents, say that they neither agree or disagree. So they are in between. While almost 20%, specifically 18.6%, say that they don't think the vaccine can protect them. And that is huge. If about almost one fifth of the population, and these are educated people. So if educated people are just about 20% are saying they don't think the vaccine will protect them, we can imagine what the ordinary man on the street who is not educated would think about the vaccine.
And that point you make about that is serious. Then let's jump to the point of how many people actually are comfortable, have indicated to you that I will take the vaccine.
Okay. So, in analyzing that, we asked our respondents if they are ready to take the COVID-19 vaccine in Ghana. And then about half of them, actually 48.7, said that yes, they are ready to take the vaccine. So it means that those who know that the vaccine can protect against the disease, which is 55%, some of them are actually not ready to take it. They know about it, they know the importance, they know the essence of taking the vaccine, but they're actually not ready to take it if the vaccine is made available to them. So 48.7%. And the interesting thing about this is that these people,
48.7%, even
yes,
if you give them the vaccine, will not take.
they will not take. They are not. No, 48.8% are ready to take the.
48.8% are ready.
48.7, they are actually ready to take the vaccine.
Okay,
Meanwhile,
48.7.
yes. Meanwhile, as I said earlier, about 55% indicated earlier that they know the vaccine is protective. So ordinarily, one would have thought that
All of
if
them.
yes, will be ready. But interestingly, some know that the vaccine is protective, but they are not ready to take it. That is how come we have about 48.7 that are ready. And then as huge as almost 1/3, that is about 31%, are absolutely not ready. And this study was conducted in March, the early part of March. In fact, we released the survey at the end of February into the first week of March. So as at that time, about 1/3 of the Ghanaian population, based on our survey, are not ready to take the vaccine, while about 19.9% are undecided whether to take or not to take. But the interesting thing,
19.1% do not know
19.9,
whether they want to. 19.9
yes, please, 19.9,
cannot tell you whether they will take it or not.
yes, they
And
are
a third
undecided.
of them
Yes, says
have
they will
said,
not take
as
it.
for me, I won't take it.
Yeah, I'm not ready to take it. Exactly. But the interesting thing about this also is that we've noticed that almost all the people who said they are ready to take it are also ready or willing to encourage their friends or family members to go for it. So we asked this specific question. I would encourage a friend or family member to take the COVID-19 vaccine. And then with that, about 46.6 are ready to do that. So one can safely say that almost the people who are ready to take it are willing to get their family and friends to also buy into accepting to take the vaccine, and that is encouraging. And of course, I must add, Sena, that unfortunately, we have almost this half of the segment of the population ready to take the vaccine. They are not ready to pay for the vaccine if it comes to that. So we ask them if you are ready.
Yes,
Yes.
if I won't pay. So that one there. But
Yeah, due to
but
the seriousness of the disease,
okay.
we ask them if you are ready to take it, and then it happens that the government is not able to make it freely available. Would you pay for it? And then out of that, only about 25%, actually 24.9%, says that they are willing to pay for it. More than half of our respondents said no, they will not pay for it. And that's quite serious, because if you know the seriousness of the thing and then you are not willing to pay for it, if it comes to that, but a good thing is we are not there yet. So yeah.
Very interesting. Now, what should all this mean to the average person who perhaps let me go to the arena of the policy maker. What should
Okay.
this research mean to those who are perhaps going to procure vaccine and saying that we are going to vaccinate all Ghanaians? What should this mean to them?
Okay. Thanks so much. That's a very important question. Yes. In fact, I must indicate again that vaccination is a very important procedure in fighting against infectious diseases. And currently, the COVID-19, and the other protocols that we have already established in Ghana and other parts of the world, hand washing and running water with soap, hand sanitizing with alcohol-based hand sanitizer, and all those things. Yes, they are protective, they are working, okay, to some extent. But then you need to go a step further to vaccinate the population. And then that will help us to attain what we call herd immunity, where largely the whole population will be ready, their immune system will be ready to fight against the disease. Now, based on our findings, the critical thing that we've noticed is the fact that a lot of people are still not ready to take the vaccine. And of course, this is largely due to a number of issues. One, the key one is misinformation, or being in possession of the wrong information relating to the COVID-19 vaccine. A lot of people think that there are a lot of stories that are around, especially on social media, about the effects of the COVID-19 vaccine. Yes, we agree the COVID-19 vaccine has some side effects, just as the other vaccines we know of. But these effects are quite normal. But then a lot of people argue that no, they think that there's a normal side effect. And per our study, there's one that we even asked them if they think the COVID-19 vaccine has some negative future side effects. And then a very huge number of our respondents said yes, they think that the COVID-19 vaccine has a very huge or enormous future side effects. Meanwhile, currently there isn't any much knowledge, scientific knowledge relating to that. But this is what about 72% of our respondents say, that they think that the vaccine has enormous future negative side effects. Now, so this misinformation and then possession of wrong information is largely affecting the population in accepting to, or in making decision to accept to take the vaccine. Another key one is that we noticed per our findings that some segment of the population, for instance, females and then the youth within the ages of 18 to about 24, are unwilling to take the vaccine, as in they are not ready for the vaccine. And this is a very important segment of the Ghanaian population, females and then youth. What could be preventing these people from making up their mind to take the vaccine, as against, for instance, males who are ready or largely ready to take the vaccine? It could be that these people are, of course, of the mind that they are not at high risk of being affected with the disease. Of course, as you may remember, during the first wave, as in last year, most of the initial data that we had both in Ghana and outside Ghana showed that this category of people are not high, were not at high risk compared to males. So maybe that is still reflecting in the current situation, or the second wave. Unfortunately, the second wave have so far showed that every age group, every segment of the population is actually at risk of the second wave of the disease. So the thing to do relating to solving all these challenges that I've just enumerated is about release of appropriate, timely information to the people, massive awareness creation, massive media education. Let's get information to the people. Policymakers need to institute strategies that will create awareness in the populace as to the essence of taking the vaccine, issues relating to the safety of the vaccine, issues relating to, because for instance, we noticed that, yes, one of the popular thing you hear about those who are not willing to take the vaccine is that this is a vaccine that has been procured or that has been gotten for poorest people, and therefore it's not safe. The production of the vaccine was so quick compared to the usual timeline and all those things. This scientists will be able to come up relevant info with correct information and timely information to the public on. Once that is done, I'm sure we'll have a higher number of our population willing and ready to accept the vaccine. But again, of course, the seriousness of this situation, as I indicated earlier, is that these are educated people. So what is the situation out there with the man or woman on the street who has not gone to school? If educated people are going along this line, okay, so it's very important that policy makers institute the right educational campaign on the safety and effectiveness or the potency of the vaccine.
Very interesting. And that was a question I was coming to. I was wondering if, because I guess that's the question that you left on your mind. perhaps
Yeah,
thinking about what if we had done this research with people who were uneducated, who couldn't read or write, perhaps who couldn't
exactly,
understand the information that was being communicated in terms of the vaccines, what will
exactly.
be their awareness rate and what will be their readiness to even accept the jab? We should be worried. And like you said, you are saying that a lot more education, especially in the local languages, should help.
Yes, yes, exactly. That obviously is the way to go. And in fact, we are still considering if we should run a second study where now instead of going online, we'll have to manage and do with paper-based work and then go to the ordinary people. But of course, we can hypothesize that that area will be worse than what we've gotten with the educated respondents. So massive education is the way to go. And per our study, it's shown that a lot of people have heard about the vaccine and all its issues on radio, television. Those were the two major sources that people indicated that they had their information relating to the vaccine from. And then the third one is that of social media. So this sources of media and information should be effectively used, especially the radio one, because almost every Ghanaian in Ghana now has access to these facilities. So we can actually adapt some of these measures to be able to educate the populace on the vaccine.
Well, thank you. The one that worries me the most is when you talk about the youth and females. That's very
Yes.
worrying. But someone from the UK listening to us says I should ask you. I think maybe a bit of clarity. Those who are hesitant to get the jab,
Yeah.
what was their reason?
Okay. So as I said earlier, those issues relate to one, for instance, the perceived negative effects of the vaccine, that the vaccine has too many negative side effects. So that is why they don't want to take it. They are hesitant towards it, even if the vaccine is made available freely to them. And two, apart from the immediate negative side effects, the next one is future negative side effects. Okay, and as I said, about 72.4% of our respondents think that the vaccine has enormous negative future side effects. So these are some of the things, but of course, I largely classify them as misinformation that are preventing some of our respondents from being willing to take the vaccine. But there's another part, since you said the tester is from UK, there's another question we asked relating to the source of the vaccine. So we asked them countries that the vaccine will come from that they will accept. So in fact, we even include UK or Europe. So we asked them if vaccine from Ghana, Europe, China, India, and Russia, which one would they accept? Interestingly, and that is another interesting part of our study. Almost the same number of people think that they will accept vaccine if produced in Ghana and Europe or UK. So actually, Ghana is a bit higher. About 41.1% are willing to accept a vaccine from Ghana, while about 40.9% are willing to accept it from Europe. And of course, as you may guess, only 3.5% are ready to 3.5, less than 5%, are willing to accept a vaccine from China. And the reason is easy to guess. But then the interesting thing about the Ghana and UK or Europe finding is this. As I said, almost the same number of our respondents are willing to take a vaccine from these two places. That gives an indication that yes, the respondent is putting some sort of trust in the Ghanaian researcher, the Ghanaian scientist, or the Ghanaian authority to be able to come out with very efficacious and credible vaccine to fight the disease. Unfortunately, we haven't done so much work in this area,
Okay.
which recently the president spokesperson on the COVID-19 or chief advisor on health, he indicated that Ghana is putting some measures trying to work on vaccine production. So this is another confirmation that yes, the Ghanaian is willing and ready to accept a vaccine if produced in Ghana. But then, of course, that raises another issue. Could it be that people are ready to accept a Ghana-made vaccine because of the misinformation that the COVID-19 in general has been targeted at reducing the black population, and therefore if vaccines are not effective, so people are now afraid to take vaccine from other countries. Could it be that? Could that be why people are actually willing to take a Ghana-made vaccine?